Awesome, guys. So we have now completed the mechanics section of culture, which is the whole section we completely dodged and didn't think about at all culturally, and now we know how to nail that. Is anybody over lunchtime kind of thought about things more and had any questions come up or any clarification needed before we tie this off and then move through to more of the dynamic section, which, by the way, is a whole lot more fun. It's better. I'm going to enjoy delivering this. Anyone had any questions pop up at all? Let's see if we can stay awake through the food coma kind of section in this next little bit. We'll try our best. I'll get you guys up, just jumping around and getting those guts going. Try to keep it in your mouth. Yep. Alright, so we've done lead and manage. How do you be a phenomenal leader and be respected from that point? And how do you really be across everything as a phenomenal manager using consistent cadences that just proactively take care of all management requirements? And also, there are more things that you can do that are small things, but again, that's the 20% that makes 80% of the difference. Yeah, we just have to trust in that and know that when it comes time for you to hire, this is going to be something that you re-look through. That's why these workbooks are important to keep, because you'll go back over them again. Obviously, you'll have access to be able to download the PDFs if you have to reprint it, but these notes will be valuable, the notes you've taken down, and the footage as well, to be able to go back through that. Awesome, guys. So let's move straight forwards in our workbooks to page 94. Okay, 94. We're going to talk about designing the future of our business, what it looks like. Now, when I asked about culture, this is how you guys hypothesized it to be, this dynamic section. So you were thinking vision, some people said mission, some people said values as well, and that's exactly what this is. And once you get it right, you can live by it now. You don't have to wait until you have a team. You can do it now, which is why this is so important. So, from the first section that we did this morning, what was the big thing that you guys wanted to take from that you can implement now? What do you think that we did this morning? There was something in particular that we can start to do now that will impact everything else. Scott?
I don't apply the same stuff at home, like all this strategy of like visiting.
This was a conversation that we had in Switzerland with Scott and Scott's partner.
Yeah.
Remember that, Scott?
Yeah, all structure.
Come on, let's talk about it. It's funny.
Because it helps, like all this sort of like at work we're smart and at home we forget we're smart. And like we drop all that.
Do we?
Playing.
Scott. I'm hearing issues. Hearing big issues.
So when I say we, I.
Alright, Scott, talk to me. What do you want to take and apply culturally to your partner?
Literally like work out combined vision.
Yeah, this is actually really good. Because, can you explain some of the conversation we had in Switzerland? I can't remember it now.
Oh, just like the. I can't remember. What did I say?
This whole narrative around the things that you're going to give to your partner. I can't remember.
The joke.
Yeah, the joke.
Oh god. So like in Switzerland, you were talking about the sales training as in like the also when you hire a salesperson, the null hypothesis, like you go, you know, I feel that
Were you
you
there
know
as well?
but I'm just not hearing the sales go. And so like when you go to hire your girlfriend, that's your girlfriend, like on the date, you go like I hear what you're saying, just not hearing girlfriend material.
What was the thing about the dishes? And...
Hey guys, like,
yeah, this whole narrative. Go on, drop some more.
yeah, it's like that. Your target was like to get like the dishes done like 7 nights a week and drop the balls and yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. And you're like, and look, if my other girlfriends start to see how you're acting, it's going to rub off on the culture. Oh, it's such a funny joke. Yeah, this whole narrative, there are at least like, so there were a couple like little jokes, but there's like 30 jokes in a row that you just bombed on. I just lost my shit completely. Awesome, yeah. Again, continue to strengthen this. How are things going at home now?
It is getting better with these philosophies of like, let's actually talk about the environment.
Vision is actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Doing the vision together. The KPIs thing, maybe we could drop that for now.
I'm doing KPIs with my husband.
How's he going?
Not me, I get marked.
Jesus Christ.
I've got to do these for Ryan and I've got to do these for Dom.
Oh,
I've
okay.
got to
So you ask him to hold you
These
accountable.
are
You ask him to hold you accountable.
Well,
He hasn't-
no, he does it. He
chooses.
holds it accountable. I didn't ask him
I
to.
don't know how funny that is. I think we should maybe call someone else. Scott.
You've got to commit to the dishes. Like,
The vision's awesome. Like, what else are we going to say constructively before I put it down a joke? That was worth it.
it's pretty much like about like agreeing on some plans in advance. Like she
Mm.
wants to travel so often in like camping.
Yeah.
I get distracted and don't plan that stuff.
Mm.
So like as I plan work, it's like I don't really have the right to plan my work and to not plan her. If that's what she needs from me. Because otherwise I'm basically just saying go away all the time. So go away and working.
Is there anything relevant to what we're doing today? We're just going to discuss your relationship.
The previous the same philosophies work, so it's like
Okay.
it works at home as at work, is that you plan both.
You mean that you need to start to think about home life as well? So you got that from the first segment in terms of you being a leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. The thing that I was hoping was said and nailed. Thank you, Scott. Love it, Scott. 3, 2, 1. The thing that I was hoping for us to get is what do we need to apply from this morning? There's 6 aspects to mark ourselves on and look at ourselves as a role model with. Personally and business related, to act as a leader now. We don't need a team to do that. We need to start doing it now. We need to look at how consistent we're being now, how courageous we're being now, what our work ethic's like. We need to look at how our strength, our care. We need to start to monitor ourselves outside of the business as well and see how important that is for us being a leader. With our relationship, socially, fun, growth-orientated, health, all these different aspects, finance, are important for us now. And you can work on it now. And then by the time that it comes, you're thinking of more jokes, Scott? I can see it. Yes. You can work on that now, and then when it comes time to have a team, automatically you have nailed that aspect. And so I really want you guys to extrapolate those action steps. Remember when I said when I was at Dan's event or whenever I do a seminar or go to anything, I'm writing down action steps for me. How can I make sure this gets applied straight away? And the way that works, that would work for me if I was sitting in the audience right now, is I'd be creating action steps around how to work on those aspects that for me are the biggest stretch. So for example, if courage was low for you, you might have told somebody in the audience to hold you accountable to doing some fear challenges. Or you might have done a Facebook Live telling your fans that you're going to do a fear challenge. If it was low in health, you might have hired a health coach or written that as a to-do. I want to hire a health coach now because I know that's going to help me with what I struggle with most. And usually the area, personally, that you struggle with most, if you can sort that area out, it usually, therefore, makes it easier to achieve the rest. Whatever's the lowest for you, personally. So if your relationship's real low, and you get that sorted, usually the effect of getting that sorted and what that has on your life actually makes everything else easier. So if your relationship's at a 2 out of 10, and you take that to a 7, we know if our relationship's really low, it causes hell in our life. So in that specific example, your health, it's going to be easier to achieve your health goals, easier to achieve everything really. So usually there's a direct link between improving the weakest point and how that feeds throughout the rest of it. So if I was you, I'd be looking at how can we execute those stretch points from this morning. Now, all of what we're going through in this next section, you can implement now. We're talking about vision, mission, and values. And they can be cemented and solidified now. And you can live by them now and use them to inspire you now. And that will feed throughout the team when you have a team. But for now, it's going to be relevant still, which is awesome. The management practices that we went through earlier today aren't as relevant. You can plan out your org chart and figure out who you want to hire in 12 months' time based on your goals, and do your best at guessing that, and do some job descriptions if you want, but it's less relevant. The area about stepping up as a leader is very relevant, okay? And this next section is going to be very relevant as well, okay? So, let's get into it. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait to work through this stuff. Awesome. So what's going to happen is if you don't get this sorted, you're not going to have leaders. You're going to have employees. We don't want employees. I always say to our team, you know, you guys aren't expected to operate like employees. You're expected to operate like leaders. You want to be fucking leaders? Then you're going to be treated like leaders. And if you don't have a business that's fueled by vision, mission, and values, people won't want to act like leaders. They'll want to be like employees. And so you miss out on the opportunity to hire people that want to grow, that creates a better environment for you, better performance for the business, and they miss out on the opportunity of growth. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding. It's so easy because we're going to do this now. Once you've got your vision, mission, and values set, they're set. So you don't even have to do anything. In this room, we're going to get that sorted anyway. We just want to take it seriously when we're doing the activities. People lose sight of the purpose of what they're doing as well. It would be fair to say that our team are working harder than other businesses. Cruz, would you agree with that? Think you work harder than the average employee? Yeah. But on the same token as that's what they want. That's what they want. Because Cruz, what's your mission?
Best.
At what?
Best coach, best I can be, like growth-wise, good human.
Awesome, man. And so he wants to work harder. Now, if your business isn't centered with that vision and that mission of excellence and to be the world's best, then you're not going to attract people like Cruz, right? And Cruz is going to lose sight of that because the culture sucks people up. It even sucks me up, or you up as a leader. If you don't have vision, mission, and values that are continually being reiterated through the business and you forget about what they are, it's easy to get stuck doing the do. And you lose sight of why you're doing it. Put your hand up if you've lost sight of your leverage before. What's driving you? Hands down. Does anyone want to share their why? Quickly? Anyone want to share their purpose? Yeah, Alex?
Be married next year and I
Fuck yeah! Woo!
Sorry, ladies.
I love that.
Alright, we agree with you.
We knew. The tears were put out yesterday, it's okay.
I've always promised her a big adventure, and I can't afford to go on that right now, so I'm going to make it happen.
Fuck yeah, Alex, up, Alex, 3, 2, 1. So that's his leverage. Yeah, it's easy to forget that at times. And when you do, you don't work. When you don't work, you don't get the outcome that you want with that. So there will be no adventure. Yeah? Sounds shit, but it's true. So it's easy to lose sight of that leverage. Anyone else want to share their leverage on this topic? Yes, Kaz.
I've got 2 at the moment.
Kaz, I fucking love you.
So 2 at the moment. My big one is around, I want to be the role model for my granddaughters. It's because they don't have a role model in either their mother or their father.
Yeah.
And my other at the moment is I want to show my husband that I can be my word and that I can provide things for him to show him that he is the king in my life.
Fuck yeah. What a big, sexy partner you are. Let's give love to Karen. 3, 2, 1. Do you ever do the ritual in his room when he's sleeping? You should. It'd be funny for us. Imagine that. Just do the gratitude part real quiet with your headphones on, and then take your headphones out and do the pump up bit and just start screaming right next to him. So if he's sleeping like here, and then the edge of the bed's here, and then just jump down, you do a push-up.
Do I do this naked or what?
Naked. Why do you even ask that? It's a silly question. Yes, go.
Not everyone has the same opportunities as us. Like, we're over 1 billion people don't have enough food and water to eat to live.
Mm.
And if money can solve it, that means that we can solve it.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel that we should.
Yeah, and that's I would put that closer to the category of perspective. which is a tool for motivation as well. It's that change of perspective, right? And that is an amazing point. I so agree with that. It's easy to lose sight of that. It's a really good movie that I get people to watch called The Machine Gun Preacher. Put your hand up if you've seen that. Hands down. You guys should watch it. Anyone that's religious in any way would find it extra special. But even if you're not, still find it amazing. I would suggest watching it. So write that down. The Machine Gun Preacher. If anyone likes the movie 300, which I don't know that you do, yes, I like it, so you should like it. Gerard Butler, main character. He is, ladies, keep your clothes on, ladies. And the senator. He is in Machine Gun Preacher. It's the main character. He's awesome. Law-abiding citizen. Anybody? Great movies. He's a great actor. He's awesome in Machine Gun Preacher. So check it out. Good perspective shift. It's about him helping people in need. But it's hardcore as well. It's awesome. Cool. So that's leverage. And with that, it creates drive. That's what leverage does. Now this gives us the ability to maintain that drive organizationally wide, so across everybody, for you and for them. So even if you don't have a team right now, it's still going to create drive. Still going to create drive. So for everyone, he started coming down here and then yeah, we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose. That's what will happen. And then everybody's just there going, what the fuck are we even here? We've lost motivation, we've lost drive. We're having to work hard, but for what? But for what? Because you are expecting a lot. You are expecting a lot. And if your team lose sight, then it comes back down to that sour environment. Yeah, cool. And then the effort drops, performance drops. And remember, what's most important with culture? Performance. Great work, guys. You're on it. You're on it. Right, let's move forwards. Awesome. We want people to be able to see the vision. We want to be able to see why we're doing what we're doing. And it can't just be a quick little statement thrown together. It needs to be something that gets you super pumped. You need to get fucking G'd up over it. When you read it, when you think about your vision and the vision of the business, you need to get fucking pumped about it. It needs to be massive. And the way that I'm going to be getting you guys to do vision today is more specific. Not just a statement, but looking at, figuring out how that looks. Figuring out how that looks. Not just, we want to be the biggest company in the world. Like, let's get numbers down. Let's get numbers of locations down. Let's get the types of seminars you're running. Let's get the types of teams you're running. Let's get real specific. So the visualization, instead of being a vision, it's actually something you can see and think about. Not something that's just written on a piece of paper that sounds good. Let's make it real tangible so we can connect to it. Because again, the purpose of it is to get you G'd up. And if they can see it, they're going to be driven. Yeah. When there's people working together towards a common goal, it creates so much beautiful unionship. Like I said again last night, one of the most amazing things, because I know that you guys today, thinking about a team, it's exciting, right? It's exciting to think about having an amazing culture and an amazing group of people to work with every day, and it is awesome. And if everyone's working together, it makes it even more enjoyable for you, and it makes it an amazing experience for them. And don't ever forget that. I've got the most amazing team members, and I've had everyone come up to me at some point in time and thank me for the ability to be in the organisation. Separately at different times, put forward their gratitude. And it's easy to forget the impact that you're making, because again, you're thinking from your point of view. And sometimes in your point of view, you're like, they're really helping me out, which they are, but you're helping them out as well. And that collective drive makes such a difference for you, but also makes someone else's life filled with purpose and fun. You help them grow and develop as a result of you. You've done that. And it's an amazing feeling to know that you're making that contribution on a person-to-person level. Really, really special. Awesome. So let's start with vision, guys. Let's start with vision. Let's flick forward. So we're going to get straight to the activities because I want us to be as... We're going to go vision and mission together. Okay, vision and mission, yeah, back and forth. So I want you to go to page 96 and we're going to do both of these. So the mission is going to be very straightforward. So the mission is going to be something that you're striving towards in terms of the number of lives changed. From you and the impact that you have. Now our mission is to change 1 billion lives by helping 100,000 coaches change 10,000 lives each. That's our mission, okay? So we're very clear on that, and it's a tangible number. So we don't have to do that right now, I'm just mentioning that. But the second part of this is the vision aspect. And if we're looking at the worksheet, you've got areas to brainstorm, different elements that you see as important within your vision. And we want to make it as specific as possible. So by reading through these afterwards, they spur on some visual thoughts in your mind of what that looks like. So you can see it and it becomes tangible in your mind. Again, the opposite of what we're looking for is a statement that's just written down that we're not going to come back to. Or that when we read, just goes, oh yeah, that's my vision. And there's no connection to an actual picture in your mind. We want as many pictures flowing through our mind as possible. So you might picture yourself within a huge office that's really fun. It's got a beautiful energy in it. You might know what sort of decor you want in there. And there could be 1,000 people in there. Or 100 people in there. And that, or if you're a fitness coach, it might be getting your facility. Or you might be having 100 facilities. And you understand all the cool equipment that you have in those gyms, and the branding on the walls, and the quotes on the walls, and the artwork in there. Could all be visuals as part of your vision. It could be the types of people that you're getting to work with. It could be some big scale clients that you've been able to attract now because you've got a little bit more time for some one-on-one coaching with some really amazing thought leaders in the world. Might be your mission to coach Oprah. That might be part of your vision. So what we're going to be doing is we've got a blank canvas here. And everybody in this room has different things that are meaningful for them within their vision. From size, like different levels of impact, different levels of team, different size teams. And what I want you guys to do is get as specific as you can. Again, when you're reading over these vision points, because we've got 12 vision points here that we can write down. This is a brainstorm. It doesn't mean you can't work on it more after this or in the break. But for now, this is going to give us an opportunity to go through and just get some really cool ideas down that are meaningful to us. Okay? Does anyone have any questions about this before we start going through this activity? The mission is pretty self-explanatory. You need to create a tangible number of lives you want to change. And I don't want you to put a date on this. So whatever you think it is, add another 0, at least. Because again, you're capped. Your impact is capped by the goal you set. That's the barrier that you set. And right now, you don't know what you don't know. I'm telling you that you can do bigger, but you don't know that yet. And until you've got to the business to the point where it's doing 7 figures, you realize how easy it is to do that. You don't know that yet, because you haven't done it. To know and to not do is to not know. You don't know yet until you've done it. So your mind will expand once you've hit a goal. It always will. So you've got to trust in the fact that the mission's going to be bigger. You can even add 2 zeros to it. Yes?
So, the difference between mission and vision is just where your mission is all about numbers, is that right?
Your mission is just one statement of how many lives you want to change. It's how many people you want to have helped. Yes? And you can either do it, I want to help 100,000 of my target market. Or you can say, I want to help 10 million or 10 billion or whatever, because there's going to be that many people in the world soon. Via, you all laugh, expand your minds. Via helping X amount of clients. One or the other, doesn't matter, whatever you want. So it's either, here's how many clients I want to help, or here's how many people I want to help via helping this many clients. That's mission. Vision's just all the visual cues of what your business is going to look like when it's fucking monstrous. Because think about it. You've got written down, we're going to have 20 locations in all these countries. That's a specific. Now, you mentioning that to yourself, as if that's not going to G you up. G me up. It's not going to give you motivation. You mention that to the team as if it's not going to give them motivation. It's a specific. Talk about how many team members you have. What type of team members. Specific rituals you might do as a team. Team retreats. There might be a certain delivery aspect that you wouldn't be able to have when you're bigger but not now. For example, for us, we've got a vision of creating an app for you guys to make it real easy, which is not going to be able to be done in the near future, just based on how long it's going to take and what we need to get right before we go to that point. Again, patience with projects and business is super important. Trust me, if I could wave a magic wand, everything would be done straight away. But for us, that's something that's really cool. Gamifying the process for you guys. I want you to be held accountable through an app. If you don't do shit, it gets pinged to the coach, like, all this cool shit. Yeah. You know, talking about that's fucking exciting for me. It's exciting for the team. It should be. It's fucking awesome. That's a vision point. So you choose what you're thinking about that's important for you, that you can therefore bring into your mind a visual of that excites you. But it's not just a broad blanket statement that's got a number on there or an impact. My vision is to change the way that we look at personal development. Awesome. What the fuck does that mean? Nothing. Get more tangible. So it actually, vision means visual. View. You need to be able to see it. You can't see that other statement, so it has less weight. And it's going to create less drive and motivation for you and the team. This is meant to G you up. Again, that is the goal. Let's get some tunes cracking. Let's spend 5 minutes on this. This to me is fucking exciting. You should be getting very, very perky over this. That's right. I said perky. Show us your perk. I want to commend you guys on your focus. It's been phenomenal yesterday and today. Concentrating on your own activities. It's been very little chatter. How you do one thing, say you do everything, maintain that. This is your future, take it seriously. Description for what each value meant, each word meant. That's how we structured it, but it's different. And you can see how different organizations structure each value point differently. Different word numbers, sentences, words. Who wants to share theirs? Who wants to share theirs? Karen, or a couple of them? Individuals and transform humanity. So I think that is less called to action. Empower individuals is action. So you want to make it so someone look at these values and it influences the way that they act. Empower. Can you read it for me again?
Empower individuals and transform humanity.
Yes.
As
So if you said we empower individuals at any cost to transform humanity, it would be more meaningful for the people in the business because they can see how that effort to empower leads to a greater result. So can you read what you had?
That's empower individuals to transform
So we empower individuals at any cost in order to transform humanity or to transform humanity. Can you see the difference? Because now the action is empower individuals at any cost. So that creates a buzz for people. Say, well, remember, we transform individuals at any cost. You gave up mid-transformation. That's not part of our values. We transform individuals at any cost. At any cost. And that can be called to action. You can use that as a way to describe whether someone's breaking people through well or not. It creates a little bit more emotion around it as well. Okay, does that make sense how I've transformed that, guys? So I'm going to do a few examples here so you guys can see and look at your own. So you should be assessing your own values right now in order to get the most out of them. Thanks, Karen. Do you want to share one more?
Based on the feedback model.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Love for Karen. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, I'm struggling a bit. I've got a couple that are just like one word, but then I've got a few that are sort of more of a
What are the one words?
Stewardship.
Stewardship.
Authenticity.
Awesome.
And courage.
Awesome. So the reason I'm not a fan of one words is because I feel like they have less power because there's less relevance or application from those words. I find for me they have less meaning. For example, in your quarterly clarity plan where it says the quarterly qualities, you could write courage there. It's one of my quarterly qualities. And if you had courage and you read it, you say, oh, remember I'm going to be courageous. That's going to play a part. It's going to help. But if you said, every time I'm afraid to pick up the phone, I pick it up anyway. That to me has a lot more power because it's got a lot more relevance. And with that relevance, you're going to see more direct application from that quality, in my opinion. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think if for you, courage was most relevant to picking up the phone, you knew why you needed courage? You had that statement, every time I don't feel like I pick up the phone, I pick it up anyway. Do you think that's going to influence your action more? Or do you think the courage is going to influence more for you? It could be courage, I don't know. What do you guys think? Specific. If we hand up if you think it's the specific, would have more weight for you. Yeah? If we hand up if you think it's the word. It's okay if it is. I'm just curious, because for me,
Well, I'm thinking the word only because that, in a way, is too specific. Because I want courage applied in facing fears and you know,
What else?
shying away from helping people or.
so what if it was, I'm always courageous, I always tackle my fears. It was, what if I tackle my fears no matter what to change lives?
Courage in the face of fear.
Yeah? Courage in the face of fear? Yeah. Or what if it was, I'm always courageous in the face of fear because my most important priority is changing lives? You know, that in my opinion has got more, that would have more pull for your team members than courage.
Yeah.
I always show courage when I'm scared in order to change lives. Then they can be reminded, remember, we're in this to change lives. And whenever we're faced with fear, we push through, we show courage because we're here to change lives. It's got more weight, in my opinion, because we're attributing more action to it. It's more implementable. Yeah? So there's an example for you, Dave. So well for Dave, 3, 2, 1. What else we got? Jess, patiently wait.
Just to add to what you were just saying, actually implementation intentions, which is literally what you were just saying, but
Yes.
if I feel X, I do that. So if I feel fear, I do it anyway. Or
Mhm.
that actually works better than a goal.
From a psychological point of view, because you
Yeah.
are a head psycho,
Yeah.
because you spent 10 years studying it.
What were the words you used?
I wish I was a master psycho.
Implementation intentions. So they actually work better than a goal. Like in terms of like clinically, in terms of showing people, getting people to do stuff.
Mm.
So if you can create your values. So if I feel something. So
This doesn't mean you have to do it for everyone,
No, but it's.
but it's a cool
Yeah.
tidbit.
Yeah, because if I feel X, or if I, a trigger being an
you want to give a couple of examples for some ones you've written down?
Sure, yeah.
Are they all with that or some?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't actually written these specifically like that because I just got that.
You thought of it from
Yeah,
those
from
examples.
What you said.
Do you have any that have that?
You could read.
Not specifically, no. But an example would be if I feel fear, I pick up the phone anyway.
Yeah.
If I am at the pub, I choose to have a soda water. If I, whatever,
Yeah,
any
totally.
kind of trigger that you would normally be faced with where you have a decision to make.
That's a cool thing to know just in general.
Yeah.
Anyone's written down that note?
I love
Yeah.
it.
And it may be relevant to some of your values and it may not. Yeah. But thank you for sharing, Jess. Do you want to share one of your values?
Yeah,
while you're
sure.
here?
Empower change through empathy and leadership.
Power change through empathy and leadership. Power change through empathy and leadership. So that is almost like love and leadership. It's almost like care and strength.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. And that is something that is got tight action to it.
Yeah.
Because it's in can you say it again?
Empower change. through
Empower change.
empathy and leadership.
Yeah, cool. So that means any team members know that they have to show care and strength. Yeah, because of that. And you're doing it because you're empowering change, which is a cool outcome. So I really like that. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Jess. Well, for Jess, 3, 2, 1.
It's our obligation to reach out to change lives.
To reach out to change lives.
It's an obligation. If you think about it from the perspective of if you can help people, then it's your obligation to pick the phone.
I love the word obligation, yeah.
You have to do that. You have to change lives.
Yeah. Now, I like where it's going. I think it can be worded in a way where it could work across sales and coaching. So it would be something along the lines of, it's our obligation to something to do with doing the task that you're afraid to do. It's our obligation to move through fear, to break people through or to change lives, because then that would work across coaching and sales. But that is, yeah, so have a play with the wording. You can see the direction. I love the word obligation. Roman? Love for Roman. 3, 2, 1. Crystal?
I'd like to develop on how to expand it, how what you guys just been talking about.
Great. Give us an example and we'll do it for that. You can apply it to the rest.
Thanks.
Oh.
Come from cause. Or
Come from God, bitch. Come from cause. So, we always take personal responsibility, or we always come from cause.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you want people to come from cause?
Because that's the ability to be able to change not just yourself, but other people. Yeah, control. Yeah. Because if
Yeah.
you keep your power out, you're not going to be able to change yourself or others because you're letting everything out.
Yeah. We always come from cause. We always take responsibility in order to be an example for others.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're solid.
Yeah.
And that just, because coming from cause is the most important thing, personal development wise. If every one of your team members definitely did that no matter what, that'd be a very powerful thing to have. Hence why it's a great value. And if you can frame it with the power of we're doing this to be an example for others, then it creates some more emotion and meaning behind why we're coming from cause, so it's slightly more powerful.
Yeah.
Nice, Crystal. Love for Crystal. 3, 2, 1. Peter.
I've heard a few. I don't know how we go here.
Just do one.
I like
Jeff.
You design your life, so design it well.
You design your life, so design it well. So that to me is not quite a value. Doesn't mean I don't like the sound of it, because it sounds cool. But it's not, so is this for your, because you got to think, this is to help influence the behavior of your team.
Is this just team or is this all stakeholders?
It's team first. And then if it's relevant to stakeholders as well, awesome. Yes, it's mainly team. So in that case, what behavior are you trying to influence there?
This is right now.
Can you say it again for everybody?
You design your life, so design it well.
You design your life, so design it well. So what are you trying to get people to do when they read that? What behavior should they do after they read that?
Just think about so we think bigger, dream bigger, like have your goal much, like your vision, like at a zero, that.
Yeah, so do you want your team to like change, they read that and then they go, okay, cool, I'm going to change the course of my life?
You know, you want them to like, sort of like empower them to make sure that every decision they do is in line with the life that they want to live.
Yeah.
And that they have full control over designing that.
So we're designing a career or designing things outside of work to be a role model in every other area?
Every area. Like their health or their wealth or their finances or just doing their actual day-to-day tasks.
So I would say, we live as leaders in every area of our lives, inside and outside of work. And you can change some of the words in there or whatever. Cool. Pete and the business wants me to be a role model in every area, not leave the business. So that's what you understand. So. What else, guys? Efra.
I've got, I'm not sure if this is worded in a
Who
value
cares?
way.
Yeah, it's okay.
No one is broken, our clients are powerful. So like remembering that each woman that we're working with is a powerful creator of her own life and we don't need to fix anyone.
So,
That's a powerful statement to me. I find.
cool, Ace, just give us a sec, please. If you got a question, put your hand up. Can you say it one more time to me, please?
So no one is broken, our clients are powerful.
So we live to change, and we turn our back on nobody.
That's not quite it though, is it?
I don't know, you tell me.
It's like, it's
'Cause
more
the-
about
what-
like not trying to fix people. Like actually respecting our clients as powerful beings and that we're not here to fix them, we're just here to give them some tools. Sense.
And what's the purpose of them knowing that?
So that they can serve better.
Conserve
That they
that,
can serve the
their
clients.
energy.
No, can, so they can.
Or can they, sorry,
Serve,
they can serve.
yeah.
Okay. So they can serve better. So they always get the breakthrough? Is that right?
Yeah, so they can get women to transform from within their own power and not like
Yeah.
because we fixed them and now they're not broken anymore.
Yeah. I think people will know that by coming into your business. The reason I changed it to the other one is because I'm thinking, how do we get the most power out of these values? I honestly think that anyone who works for you will come and work for you because they love your vision, and I don't think they're going to think anyone's broke. So I don't think it's worth having, this is me personally, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't have that as like quotes you do on your page and stuff, or like a mantra that other people see when they're coming to the business, but I think your team will know that. I don't think anyone in your team is going to think your clients are broken, that's for sure. Or they need fixing. That's my take on it. And so that's why I changed it the way that I did, because I was trying to make it more powerful. So I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with thinking anyone's broken. They might have a problem with having the strength to get them through. Because, yeah. So maybe you could frame that with a, and so we always get the transformation. So can you say it one more time?
Yeah, so no one is broken, our clients are powerful and they can always, and we can always facilitate transformation for them.
Yeah, so that, what was it before? You added the little tidbit there. What was it before that?
No one is broken, our clients are powerful.
Yeah. So if it was every client, because every woman is beautiful, we always get the transformation, then I think that would have more of an action that your team members could use to go, oh hell yeah, I can always get the breakthrough because everyone we said is beautiful or unbroken or perfect or whatever it is. Because every woman is perfect the way they are, we always get the transformation, then that can be called to more action. And in my opinion, that value's actually got a premise behind it. It can help influence your team's behavior. But before, without that extra, so we always get the transformation, it didn't quite play too much of a purpose because I think they already know that. Does that make sense, Ephraim?
Yeah.
Does everyone else see that as well? I'm not just trying to dole up whatever you put forward, I'm thinking, is that going to actually influence the behaviour of your team? Is it worth having as a value? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, got one, love and acceptance without judgment, because there's a lot of people out there that will judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, so your team,
Look into the heart.
yeah.
There's a lot
So
of
is it really important for you to have your team members operate with a real sense of empathy and understanding?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
some of the down and outer people won't.
And so coming from heart is really important. So what if it was we always come from heart, and because we never judge a book by its cover, or we always come from heart because we believe, because we love, accept, and understand every human being on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's a rule in your business that there's never a judgment, there's always heart.
Yes.
And that plays value.
Yes.
Because that's what you believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So see, that's really valuable. That's a very valuable value. All right, let's do 2 more examples and then we'll.
We always give our best no matter how we feel in the day.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we always give our best. So we could strengthen the words, but that's a very powerful statement because you're trying to influence people's behavior and make peak performance a responsibility always. That's the goal of it, so it has power because the goal of that statement is to make sure that the team are performing always, and we don't use excuses. It doesn't matter how you feel, you always show up. Okay? So can you say it one more time for me?
We always give our best no matter how we feel in the day.
Yeah. So, so we always give our best. So how could we dole it up? What other words could we use other than best? We always give our best. Anyone can shout out, maybe, or put their hand in front of
120%. Every day you do 120%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah. We always give 100%. It depends what resonates with you, though.
Yeah.
But there would be more powerful words that resonate with you. Can you think of anything on top of your head?
Not right now.
Not right. You've done great job sharing, and that is a great value. So I want you to write out a couple examples, and then come show me later when you've done it. Cool, well done.
So on that, maybe like we are performance machines that dominate no matter how we feel.
Yeah, that's very relevant to your personality type, and mine as well. I like it. Yeah, but that is an example. That is an example of strengthening it in a masculine way. You can strengthen it in a feminine way as well. Strengthen either or way. But there's more powerful adjectives. That is really cool, Dave. Thank you for sharing that example. Cool, guys. One more. Oh, yeah, Anna.
We empower equality through collaboration.
We empower equality. We empower equality through transformation.
No, through collaboration.
Sorry. Through collaboration. We empower equality through collaboration. Yeah, beautiful. Your goal is to get your team working together, right?
Working together and don't empower others.
Can you say it one more time for me, please?
We empower equality through collaboration.
Yeah, I think that's great. I like it. Because the action is collaboration, working together. And the goal is to create unionship and teamwork. Awesome. Great job, Emma. We'll do one more, Miller.
Oh yeah, okay. Being honest over being comfortable.
You can do it, he says. Being honest over being comfortable. Is that what it is? Being
Yeah. So I guess being honest at all times over being comfortable.
So what you're thinking is that they'll lie to themselves to avoid fear?
Yeah, to avoid being uncomfortable to themselves and others.
So is it about them lying to, like they might lie about a KPI to their boss because they want to avoid the discomfort of being called out? Or is it more about fear challenges and stuff and being courageous in the business?
I guess it's probably excuses are probably when it boils down to it. Like excuses around why they haven't done something or if they've acted in a way that's not in alignment to the business, I guess.
So can you say what you said to me again before that? What's the value?
Being honest over being comfortable.
Yeah. So, honesty is everything. We always tell the truth because we believe in growth above all else. Honesty is everything, and we always tell the truth because we believe in growth above all else. And what that means is that they prioritize honesty always because they care about growth more than being wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, we always tell the truth because we care about growth. Yeah, whatever I said, being recorded, so we can go back to it if we need to. But I'm trying to pull the meaning. I'm trying to go, what are you trying to do here? What behavior are you trying to influence? And how do we really tie that down to some powerful, tangible action so that if one of your team members was to look at that, it would give you the effect that you want to get. They would follow it, and it would be meaningful for the action you're trying to get them to take. And if it's either not motivational enough, if there doesn't have enough context behind it, or it doesn't have enough action tied towards it, then it's not going to have the power it needs to have. So guys, without sharing any more, let's pause for a second and let's turn to the person next to you. I just want to share the takeaways you got from that with the forming of those values. Really quickly, turn to the person next to you, share 30 seconds, so let's get this rocking. How else are we going to bring Jesus back? Hands down. Hands down. What's just really funny, the Holy Spirit. This is preacher, this Bible preacher, and he was just running around this big room, big hall, and there were people on other levels and stuff, and he was just on such a high. It was like Tony Robbins at an event, and he was just passing forth the Holy Spirit to people and invisibly knocking them off their chairs. There were 7-year-olds on the ground. So good. But the thing that I liked was that the preacher was so pumped up. He's like, you want it? You want some of this? You want some of this? You want it? You got it. Take it. And then I was like, ooh. And he went around to the other room and he's like, I've got the Holy Spirit, bitch. And he was just like, oh, so funny. All right, guys. So we're going to go through to the next activity that we have there. The next activity. And it's about pumping it. And what you guys are going to do is you're going to take this activity to a break. So before we go to the break, we need to understand what this is about. This is about getting as many opportunities to put these values through your business, whether it's recruitment that you're putting that into your business with, whether it is a welcome pack that you give to a new person in an induction process that joins your business, whether it is on your website, whether it is on your wall, whether it's in your vital signs meetings, you mentioned it at the start, whether you mentioned it every weekly action meeting, whether you've got a prize every week, every week you choose one value and that's the value of the week, and then whoever adheres to it most, because they get stickers on their whiteboard every time they do something that aligns with it, and then whoever gets the most stickers wins a prize. Whatever, just come up with some cool ideas. You can borrow all of them and write them all down. And then you've got ways to pump it. Because if you live it and you pump it, then people are going to adhere to these values. These are not, oh, Ryan says do the values, so do the values. This is you crafting how you want your business to look, how you want the behavior in your business to be. These are the principles which will influence behavior, how you want it to be influenced. So when you're looking over your values, go, if people followed all of these, would our performance be epic? And would our engagement be epic? And if so, awesome. And if not, what's missing? You might notice that some of your statements, you might get someone else to check them and go, what do you think of these? What do you think is really going to influence behavior here? There might be one of them that's a blanket statement. You've just said it because it sounds good. It doesn't actually influence a particular behavior that you're looking for. Honesty might be really important. Putting in the time might be really, really important. Quality might be really important. Honesty, coming from cause. Being able to be courageous or innovative might be important. If you think innovation and people thinking creatively and outside the box is going to be the key to your business staying ahead of the curve, then that needs to go in there for you if that's what is important to you. If you just having courage and all your employees having more confidence through them embracing their fears is important, then it needs to be there. It needs to be a value. So you've got to cross-check them with some real common sense of yourself. And then once we've got them set, we're going to pump it. So what are all the ways that we can feed that throughout the business to influence behavior of our team? So guys, let's jump up. And it's 4:30 now. We're going to have a 15-minute break. You guys I want you to brainstorm at least 5 ways, at least minimum, should be able to get all of them, every box filled in. What's at least 5 ways that I haven't mentioned that you can feed the values throughout your business. Okay? So guys, jump up. 15 minutes, we'll come back in at 4:45. And then we're going to crush out the last section of the day.